96,000 frantic fans showed up at the Big O to see the Jays play the Reds, stating their case for an Expos return. But does one magical weekend equal a promising future for baseball in Montreal? As always, we invite you to join us on our social networks at facebook.com/RBTL Sports, as well as on Twitter at RBTL Sports. To my left is RBTL contributor Anthony Cornelli. Great to see you.
Good to be here.
To your right is Ray Callari. You, sir, are a scout for the San Francisco Giants, and you're also sporting those rings. Show those rings right there. Two bad boys and a third one on the way. Thanks for taking the time.
Anytime.
To the right, David Hurley, RBTL contributor. Great to see you. And you actually had a chance to cover baseball. We'll have a chance to talk about that.
Yeah, you can go check it out on YouTube on RBTL Sports Overtime.
Very good. Let's talk about the coverage that you had. You lived it first and foremost with the fans there, the excitement there, Denny Coderre, Russell Martin. Your overall impressions of what this was as a statement to MLB about bringing the team back to Montreal.
Montreal put on a good show. I mean, 96,000 fans came out over the weekend. It really showed that the city was missing baseball. But again, it's a two-day event. It's mostly an event, co-event. It's not a baseball team here for the long run. This city needs a new stadium if they were to do something, and I don't think they're ready to do it just yet.
I got to agree with Mr. Hurley there. I mean, Montreal is an event-based city. Any big event that comes to Montreal usually sells out. 100,000 people is not telling MLB that Montreal's in it for the long run. And the plans of a new stadium are not really in the talks. Even if Montreal would get a team, they were saying they'd play at the Big O, and then 2-3 years down the road, the stadium would come. I think the fan base would be gone by then.
But if you had that pessimistic standpoint, right, if we were always thinking from a negative standpoint, you would say, okay, well, we don't have the financing, we might not have the support on the long term. But if we look at it from a positive standpoint, Ray, this is a big step in the sense of attendance, right? Regardless of what happens, regardless if it's a weekend event, it's 100,000 people showing up to watch a baseball game.
For me, I think he's right that we're an event-based city, and we like that. But the commissioner, previous commissioner Bud Selig, and new commissioner Manfred, he said they want a stadium first. They don't want to play at the Big O. They want a stadium first. They want an open-air stadium downtown where it's going to attract people. They don't want a fly-by-night stadium that open. They want a team. Other teams, they've talked about Tampa relocating. Miami talking about relocating. Oakland. But they want a new stadium. They don't want to go to basically a toilet bowl, for 81 or 82 games. And are the fans going to come for 81 or 82 games?
I think they would come if it was an outdoor ballpark. But again, they have to get the funds to do it, and you have to put it in the right location. You're not going to put it where the Hippodrome is, and please don't put it back where the Olympic Stadium is, because those are terrible locations for a baseball stadium.
But the industrial area right by the Bonaventure Expressway could be a great location to have a ballpark. It does have a great...
But also Hippodrome, you say, why? They already sold that land, but that would have been the ideal land because that's where all the majority season ticket holders were. And there's ample parking. Four metros close by. Accessibility. You want to be accessible to the ballpark. You don't just want one way in, one way out. You two at a concert there, it was accessible. People walk. People like to be in that environment, just walking around. There's nothing to do outside of the Olympic Stadium when you walk around.
If I'm not mistaken, they were talking about even Griffintown, right? Griffintown's an up-and-coming
Griffintown
area.
Would be bad.
A lot of young
Griffintown would be a
professionals.
better area than Bonaventure area.
Guys, we got to look at stats. I mean, since 1994, after that playoff that went sour.
That year, as they say.
They were averaging over 22,000, and in 10 years, to the year they folded in 2004 or relocated, we were averaging just over 9. I know there's a lot of MLB, American cities that don't have those average attendance, but how much
there's something to be said, though. There is something to be said that the Tampa Bay Rays didn't get over 36,000 people for a playoff game, and we're getting 50,000 for a meaningless preseason game. There's something to be said for that.
Then again, you have to look at where the St. Petersburg Dome is. It's in the middle of nowhere, right off the highway. It's hard to get to.
Still a playoff game.
But it's still, I understand that, but still inside. Still inside. People don't want to be inside. I don't care what you say. People want to wrap up with their coats, and they want to stay outside.
October ball.
You want to go to the ballpark, and
2 years, in 2012, I was in Detroit. It was freezing. But you know what?
Fantastic.
In 5-10 minutes, a coffee, jumping around when they score runs. It's great.
The damage was done in terms of this generational gap, right? In terms of the team leaving, and the damage has been done. However, there's a gap between the 40, 50, 60-year-olds who really lived baseball here in its heyday. Do you think that gap is repairable? If ever there was, right? Let's say we extrapolate that the team is going to come back. Do you think that gap of being away for so long could be fixed and repaired?
I believe so. You see so many fans going to going to Boston, going to Detroit, going to New York to watch other ball teams play. The telltale sign is, why don't you have a week long, have the Yankees come here for a week, have Boston, and share the profits and see if the fan base will stay for a whole week. It's fine and dandy or spring training game 2 days, 96,000 people. But what about Tampa Bay Devil Rays against Baltimore? Are we going to get those kind of fans? Like, I think if you bring a team here and put them in the American League East with a new stadium, I think you sell out.
Absolutely.
I think you sell out.
Well, one thing's for sure is you're not going anywhere because I love the energy you're bringing to the show. Stay with us. RBTL continues right here. Don't go anywhere. Hey, sports junkies, like what you see? Click that subscribe button for more exclusive content.